Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing.
Jimmy coming? Is Jimmy here? Is Jimmy here tonight?
I haven't seen him in the building.
Good morning, Hunter.
Oh, okay.
So, smile. It's for the presentation with Timo. And I'm going to ask everybody to come up. There'll be 6 or 7 people running in the room, but then I'm going to ask to try to do a group photo here. Okay, so I'll go on without him. Do we have the camera ready for the photo? Do we have a photographer that's going to take a separate photo here? Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll take your seats at this time, we'd like to get the meeting started. We're running just a few minutes behind. It is now 5:40 in the evening, Monday, April 25th, 2011, 790 Homestead Boulevard, Homestead, Florida. I'd like to call the meeting to order. At this time, we're going to have our invocation. It's going to be given by Reverend Howard Harden, the pastor of First Baptist Church of Homestead, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by our police explorers and Councilwoman Lobos. If you all will please stand.
Let us pray. Oh God, we pause before you to thank you for the gift of life, for the gift of freedom, for the capacity to govern ourselves. We thank you for the public servants that are represented here who serve in various levels. We thank you for the time and the energies they spend working for the good of this community. As we proceed with the business before us tonight, we ask that you would grant wisdom and that you would give to all of us the grace that we need to promote not only our own good, but the good of others. We ask your blessings on this city, this state, and this land. I pray these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Honor guard, attention. Carry, push. Forward, march. Right wheel, march. Honor guard, halt. Present, on.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Left face. Forward, march.
Please be seated. Thank you, Pastor Harden, and thank you, Police Explorers. You do such a great job every meeting for us. At this time, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Burgess.
Here.
Councilwoman Lobos. Here. Councilman Maldonado.
Present.
Councilman Shelley.
Here.
Vice Mayor Woolman.
Here.
Mayor Bateman.
Here. Okay, at this time in our meeting, what we do is we go to a public comment session. So public comments, 2 minutes. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and a brief public comment session.
Mayor, Council, William Tebow, 2835 Fairways Drive. I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak. I've been involved with the security of our community, Keysgate, the Fairways. I'm along with a lot of other people that are interested in our well-being. I understand that over the weekend our police force was active and gave a stern warning to people that were out and back of the fairways, firing weapons, running ATVs, and I just want to say thank you very much for your efforts. You surely make me feel a little bit safer than before, and I hope you keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tebow.
Doug Barbeau, 2970 Dunwoody Place. I'm also here concerning the issues that we've been having in our community at the fairways, reference to the gun firing, four-wheelers. We've had a lot of break-ins. I understand that there was a possibility of getting some of the stuff posted in the back. I was just curious if anything's been done with that, if any of the other property owners have allowed you to do anything with that.
I received a phone call from Mr. Steve Teresi today, who owns approximately 2,000 acres of the acreage that's out there that's being used as a firing range, campground, whatever else, because I agree, it's very frustrating.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ed Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive in Keysgate. I also want to come and thank the Mayor for having a workshop this week. It's the Mayor's Community Policing Watch Crime Committee, and I just want you to know that I got my form and I did fax it in and hopefully be selected for that elite group. And we are encouraging everybody to get involved, to make a difference in the community. And before Jerry makes our little utility bills obsolete by paperless statements, and this pesky little hurricane fee goes away, what you might do is there's a nice little card that the police department has put out, and it has on it the anonymous phone call number. So if they would insert this in the next bill, everybody would get a copy of this, and you can call anonymously to the police department. If you don't want to get involved, you can call, you can report an incident, and whatever it is, if it looks suspicious, call. That's the message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your input. And it's the mayor's office that's producing those cards. The police department produced us the number, but you can get those through the mayor and council's assistant. Yes, sir.
Hello, how are you? Good seeing good people of Homestead again. Reverend Softly from the Unbreakable Chains, a 24-hour UCF. My office is the whole Homestead. We deal with the displaced individuals and in the communities. The orders to give the police the, go ahead and arrest the individuals in the busways and in the community is not going to change it. I mean, there is a need for outreach, and I just want to encourage everybody to support this. Our efforts, we're a 24-hour organization, and we are trying to set up a network with the Homestead Police Department, as well as the other police department, the Metro-Dade Police Department here in South Miami-Dade. But we are encouraged to say that the progress that's being made here in Homestead is tremendous, and our efforts plan to keep going. And you can contact us on unbreakablechains.com, and the number again is 305-506-7243. We're looking for properties. If anybody, if anyone in here has any at their disposal, like that we can use to further our services for our great city Homestead, would be greatly appreciated. But you know, just support the outreach teams here. We're trying to, you know, clean up our busways and, you know, get the individuals from in front of the merchants, the stores and the plazas and things. We look for the individuals to offer our services too. And we don't plan to stop, but just get involved, people. Great seeing you again, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Ms. Vice Mayor.
Reverend, can I ask you, Reverend?
Yes, Ms. Wallman.
Let me tell you, these people do some really good work, and we had a nice press release in the in the Homestead News Leader recently,
yeah.
and it was really great. But for those of you who are out there in this audience, and I've talked to the chief about it, and they try very hard to reach out to the homeless and get them off the street and clean them up.
That's
literally
right.
Clean them up. So if there's anybody out there that wants to donate to this fine organization, I can tell you that they're really trying to do really good work. And they've cleaned up Chrome Avenue. You'd be surprised what they've done with Chrome Avenue. So I just wanted to endorse you.
Thank you, Ms. Wallman. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pastor. And I'd just like to thank the men and women who came tonight to speak out, whatever, whether it be a street light, whether it be gunfire, whether it be ATVs. It's your voice that we work on. Simple as that. We work for you. And without hearing your input, it's typically status quo up here if we don't hear what the problems are. And sometimes the old saying, squeaky wheel gets the oil. And right now, you're putting the oil on it. And I'm going to ask the manager at this point, I know that you took the ride out there with myself, the mayor from Florida City, the chief of police from Homestead, and the chief of police from Florida City. And I'd like for you to move forward with a second meeting that we pull together with the landowner this time, because he's in agreement, the majority landowner. And maybe let's do like a map quest out there and see who the small tract owners are. The majority of that land is owned by one person, 2,000 acres of it. And what I witnessed on Saturday was just a lack of not only a lack of knowledge, but a lack of a property owner's responsibility. Because if you would have seen the amount of trucks that were backed up right in front of his big name of his rock quarry, 15, 20 deep, beautiful looking vehicles, pulling trailers with, some had 2, some had 5 all-terrain vehicles on them. There were 30, 40 people out there with tents and coolers and whatever. It's not just a day riding a fair any longer. It's not just an hour or two of it. It's all through the night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, constantly. And now it seems like they're traveling more and more with guns. Over 60 shots were fired on Saturday, less than a quarter mile of my house, I can tell you, and some of the other members of my community there who came forward tonight. We cannot stand by and allow somebody to get hit by a stray bullet. What goes up must come down, and sometimes the velocity of it coming down, or majority of the time, will kill you. So we need to be proactive. The landowner is willing to put up as many signs as we feel necessary. I believe that a towing operation will work, because these were not just people driving in off the street on these all-terrain vehicles. They were being trucked out there with some pretty fancy equipment that I believe that they'll get tired of having it towed away when it's done in the right way. Posted the right way, handled the right way. I know it's Florida City's jurisdiction, and yes, our police officers did a great job in going out there and actually communicating with them. It was a verbal conversation that they seemed to know most of their rights, though. They seemed to know that, 1, they were in Florida City, and 2, that the land wasn't posted, and 3, that they weren't going to get arrested, because when we left, They kept on. So we need to do the right thing for the department. So this department and Florida City can do the right thing, which is protect this community from things that have just grown from a little small area that used to ride ATVs to a huge, 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 it looks like River Ranch out there. And it's not going to stop until something's done.
Mayor, if
Yes.
I was going to do it under my business, but I'll do it now. I wanted to thank you for the program that you put forth, because I've had so many phone calls from people in the villages where I live. I mean, we were averaging sometimes 1 and 2. Daytime without a gun? That's a burglary, right, Chief? 1 or 2 burglaries sometimes a day. And it has been terrible. The tags have been stolen. I know they've arrested 9 people in the surrounding vicinity, all different people. Crime is bad. So I want to thank you for putting together your task force, and I want to commend the police department because you've done a wonderful job. I set in on the new software program. I brought one of the boards already to your department to see it, and it's amazing. I can't wait till you go public with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Any further comments before we go into special presentations? Hearing no further comments, we're now going to go into special presentations. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The great city of Homestead tonight has a small hero in a big way. Heroes do come in small packages, and we're going to hear about this hero tonight. And I'd like to call Detective Morales up to give us just kind of an overview of what took place before we start our presentation and before we bring some really nice gifts to this individual who put his life on the line for his brother and his brother's friend. Detective Morales.
Good evening. On April 7th, this young boy right here, Timo, and his brother Carlos, along with another friend, Rigoberto, were playing in the back of your yard. Unbeknownst to them, a pretty large dog had escaped from a business across the street from their home. As they were playing, the dog wandered in their backyard. Timo sees the dog coming around the next-door neighbor's yard, basically growling at him, acting aggressively. The dog then charged at him to attack him. Timo grabbed his little brother and his little brother's friend and basically guided them underneath the car. Fearing that his brother and the little friend would go out on the other side of the car, he grabbed both of them, put his arms around them, and held them while the dog viciously mauled him. He received injuries to his head, his shoulder, but throughout all that pain, he held on to his brother and his little friend. Today, they're here to be honored by the mayor, the city of Homestead, the police department, and several other guests that are here today.
Thank you, Detective Morales. We've got many things tonight. I'd like to start off with the mayor and council. And the mayor and council of the city of Homestead, Timo Perez, has a beautiful plaque for you that says, "For your unselfish act of bravery, the city of Homestead salutes you." Mayor Stephen C. Bateman, Vice Mayor Judy Wallman, Councilman John Burgess, Councilwoman Wendy Lobos, Councilman Elvis Maldonado, Councilman Steve Shelley, and Councilman Jimmy Williams III. And this is the beginning of a lot of goodies for you. And with this, I'd like to present this to you on behalf of Mayor and Council and the all of City of Homestead. Also, we're going to let you give a speech here in a minute, so I hope you're thinking about it, because, again, this young man didn't think twice about throwing his entire body in harm's way. How he thought, as quick as he did, to push his little brother and his friend underneath that car and then use his body as a shield, it was pretty amazing. And that shows me that Timo's a pretty quick thinker. And I think if he's a quick thinker, he's probably a really good soccer player. So what I got for you, from myself personally, Timo, is I got you a little credit card to the Sports Authority for $100, and you go there and you buy what your heart desires. I also got one for your younger brother, and I also got one for his little friend, all right? So I'd like to give you those three things right there. We also have several other people here who want to speak to you, Timo, along with Carlos, and I know his friend Rigoberto. We have Project SOS has provided counseling for you, I know, and the family. Project SOS has provided food during this tough time for the family, and we want to thank Project SOS. I see Project Weed and Seed here. But thank you, because I know you guys are sister departments there. And we also have Publix provided some lovely gifts. We want to thank Publix. Publix always reaches out. They always reach out to help us. I'd like to now, at this time, call up Lele Sports. Lele is a new business in town that provides youth sports in kind of a big way. So if you'll come forward now and you feel free to present your own. Yes, good to see you.
Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for the opportunity. It's an honor for Lele Sports to provide Timo with two very exclusive items. And Timo, just so that you know, memorabilia is so expensive nowadays. This is your prepaid college tuition. So we've got two items for you. And we want to thank Henry Villar and all of the rest of my organization. Lele Sports is truly a team effort with all the people in our organization. And just like Timo obviously felt that his friends were his teammates and he needed to protect them, that's the same way our organization works. Timo, this is a ball signed by Alex Rodriguez from the New York Yankees. It's a 2009 World Series baseball. So thanks to Newport Properties and Alex Rodriguez, this is for you. And then, even though the mayor says good things come in small packages, this one may be better than that smaller package. This one here is a ball signed by every single Miami Heat basketball player. And the answer to your question is yes. It is signed by the big three, Wade, Bosch, and James. And again, I thank the members of my organization for extending this out to you. Mr. Mayor, I also like to thank the police department. We have one last smaller gift. It's just from us, but we'd like to thank the police department. Truly, the city of Homestead has taken us with open arms, just everybody. So we are thrilled to be here. We know that with the city's help, as well as organizations like Publix and the ones that you mentioned, and Lele Sports, we can help young kids like this. And Timo, there's two more things. Number one, you have a Lele Sports cap, which may not mean that much to you now, but it will in the future. And it has a pendant from, again, Alex Rodriguez when he hit his 600th home run. So that's for you also. And you have a lifetime free entrance for you and your family to any sporting events, any concerts, and anything that happens at Lele Sports Complex. Okay?
Thank you, Lele Sports. The FOP. Turn over, please.
Yeah, I don't know if I can beat Lele, but I'll try. We're here representing the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 13 here in Homestead. And, you know, who better to play part in something called bravery than a whole bunch of guys that I work with. We just got Timo, a small token. It's also a plaque, and it reads, presented to Timo Perez in recognition of your heroic efforts. This is in part of the Fraternal Order of Police, the Chief of Police of Homestead, and the Homestead Police Department. He will also be getting a 100 gift $100 gift certificate for Office Depot for school supplies, and one from Walmart also for whatever he needs there, and not red, but a nice Fraternal Order of Police hat that he can have with him.
Thank you, Fraternal Order of Police. Now, Timo, you're going to have to be like Jimmy Johnson. You know, when Jimmy Johnson wins those races, he's constantly changing hats. So now it's time to put the FOP hat on. Also, Miami Children's Hospital. Is there someone here from Miami Children's Hospital? Representative, please come forward.
Hi, it's a pleasure to see Timo again and his family in a little bit different situation than we saw him the other night. I'm Kathy Burnwhite. I'm the chief of pediatric surgery there, and I happened to be on call when he came in. He had terrible wounds on his head, on his shoulder, and on his armpit, and he was awake, happy, alert, and thankful. He said he was very happy that his ear wasn't taken off. And his mom, as well, was incredibly brave to stay with him throughout the cleansing of the wound and the reconstructive procedure that he had to put all of his lacerations back together again. And it's boys like this that make us proud to do what we do. Certainly we've seen dog bites where the teeth have gone through the skull and have meningitis, and we were delighted that the next day he was chipper, happy, eating, and ready to go home. So it's this is why we do what we do, to have stories like this. So thank you.
Timo, the First National Bank of Homestead sent you something. They sent it through me. They sent you a $100 gift certificate from the First National Bank, and they are extremely proud of your bravery and what you've done for your little brother and his friend. So I'd like to give you this certificate. It's a $100 gift certificate from the First National Bank of South Florida. Okay, with that said, I'd like to ask the entire council, please, to come down and let's get a photo op. The entire council of the City of Homestead. I'm the mayor, Stephen Bateman, of the City of Homestead, and I'm very proud of our police department and very proud of the members of our community who reach out constantly, over and over again. This little town is a very tight community. We do the right thing for the right reason at the right time. Yes, Ms. Vice Mayor. Sure.
Hi. Can you come here just for a second, Timo? I have something that we just made a decision on tonight. Some of our board members are here from our Little Angels Foundation, and we're going to give your family $500 to do anything you want to do with, because you are the bravest boy I know. So $500. I'll have it for you tomorrow. Okay?
Timo, would you like to say something? Timo.
Thank you, anyone, for giving me the present.
Thank you for doing such a heroic deed. Okay? Hopefully we'll see you soon. I know we will, for Because you're a brave little guy, so that means you're going to be something big and strong when you grow up. Give him a few minutes to finish up. I'm going to go ahead and finish your special presentation, so I skip over deletions. Okay. We'll do it afterwards. We'll do all this, right? You want to do yours now? Okay. Our next special presentation is ICE Center. Proclamation is going to be given by Councilman Steve Shelley. Is that representative here? Please come up to the podium.
Yeah, Ms. Araceli Garcia, please come up. Would like to go ahead and give a proclamation to ICE Center Community Foundation. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the ICE Center Community Foundation of South Florida declares May 6th as Foster Care Day in the state of Florida, and whereas their mission is to transform today's youth to become tomorrow's professional leaders, and whereas a call to action for families, organizations, and agencies which serve as chief authorities in support, education, love, self-esteem, and identity, and as the infrastructure of our communities and our state. And whereas Foster Care Day in the state of Florida will focus all attention and support on the more than 20,000 youth and young adults in foster care system throughout the state, and whereas the young and young adults in foster care will be provided with the most apparent needs of housing, education, life skills, and medical assistance, to include the benevolence and the discipline of a foster family on a heightened level, and whereas the foster families who expand their own families and homes and offer help to other children whose families are in a crossroad play an integral role in supporting family reunification will be recognized and commended, and whereas the countless individuals, public and private organizations advocating on behalf of children in and transitioning from foster care to include foster parents and those in foster care system are recognized for their contributions. Now, therefore, Stephen C. Bateman, the mayor of the city of Homestead, does hereby proclaim Friday, May 6, 2011, as Florida Foster Care Day in Homestead. And now I'd like to invite the representative from ICE Center to give a little bit of information about ICE Center.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time and support. A special thank you to the Mayor and City Council of the City of Homestead in recognizing Florida Foster Care Awareness Day through this proclamation. ICE Center Community Foundation's vision is to provide wraparound services to include affordable housing, education, and life skills for young adults aging out of foster care, and to provide them with the opportunity to make a successful transition to adulthood by establishing a solid foundation towards independent living and complete autonomy. May 6th, Florida Foster Care Day, will provide awareness and recognize all those dedicated to foster families, from individuals, community leaders, organizations, state and federal agencies who work hard every day to make a positive change, one child at a time. Please join us on May 6th at Losner Park from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. to honor Florida Foster Care Day. Thank you.
Good evening. The City of Homestead is committed to highlight the Fair Housing Law, Title VIII, and tonight we would like to present the Fair Housing representative with a proclamation. Is the representative for the fair housing market here?
I don't think that they're here.
No?
No, I
Okay.
think they want it read into the record.
Okay, so the proclamation reads, whereas April 11, 2011 marks the 43th anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended which enunciates a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, sex, family status, and handicap, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. And whereas the City of Homestead is committed to highlight the Fair Housing Law, Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 by continuing to address the discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure every American of the right of fair housing. Now, therefore, I, Stephen C. Bateman, the Mayor of the City of Homestead, Florida, do hereby proclaim April 2011 as the Fair Housing Month in Homestead. On behalf of the city.
Thank you very much, Alice.
Yes, please.
Now we're going to hear from the Vice Mayor, Ms. Wallman.
I've learned. I've learned. Need a remote control. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. and Mrs. Silver. Come up, please. Oh, well, he has to come with us. Welcome. At this time, I'd like to just tell you just a little bit about this presentation. Recently, I had the pleasure of attending the 60th anniversary celebration of Temple HaTikva on March 5th. And at that time, Dr. Jean Jacobs and I were honored with a beautiful award, and I should have brought it here to the podium tonight, but I didn't. But thank you so much. It was certainly my honor to receive the award you gave me. Thank you. Carol, past president of the synagogue, is here with us tonight, as well with her husband, and they are pioneer families in this community. Past president, too. Can't leave him out. And he's the best. He's my friend. And they're here tonight on behalf of Rabbi Jack Sparks, who couldn't be with us tonight. The Jewish Community Center has been in our community since 1951. And they rebuilt after Hurricane Andrew in 1992, and at that time, the congregation renamed the Jewish Community Center Temple HaTikva, right? Did I get that right? The Temple of Hope. So at this time, I would like to present you with this proclamation. Whereas Temple HaTikva was founded as a Jewish community center in 1951 by visionary Jewish pioneers who moved deep into South Dade, where they wanted to build a center of Jewish life. And whereas Temple HaTikva, the Homestead Jewish Center, is a liberal congregation serving the Jewish community of South Dade, including Homestead, Perrine, Palmetto Bay, the Redlands, Cutler Ridge, Upper Keys, and northern Monroe County. And whereas after Hurricane Andrew disseminated the Homestead Jewish Center on August 24, 1992, those faithful members who remained rebuilt the center and renamed it Temple HaTikva, which means the Temple of Hope. Whereas Temple HaTikva celebrated its 60th anniversary on March 5th, 2011, and is well known as the Hemish, warm and friendly place of worship with a dynamic rabbi, who's so nice, by the way, inspiring soloists, and beautiful keyboard music. And now, therefore, I, Stephen C. Bateman, the mayor in the city of Homestead, Florida, do hereby proclaim March 5th, 2011 as Temple HaTikva Homestead Jewish Center Day in Homestead. And it's my congratulations that I present this to you, and I'd like you to say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Bateman and Vice Mayor Wallman. We had a good time at the anniversary party. She can dance, by the way. Temple Hatikva Homestead Jewish Center has been a part of the community since we broke ground in 1951 on a little dirt road called Campbell Drive. And we've been a part of the community for the last 60 years. And I'd like at this time to invite everyone in 2051 to come attend our 100th anniversary, because we intend to still be here. Thank you so much.
I just want to be here.
Oops. Yeah.
Congratulations. It's a beautiful party. I want to come to all your parties. They have a band. They have all kinds of things going on. Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome.
Should I go on?
Please. The floor is yours.
Our next presentation is our new Miss Homestead, Tiffany Hernandez, 2011. She's my little darling. I've known her before she even thought about running for the teen contest, so she's done a wonderful job. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Tiffany Hernandez, and her platform is Feeding the Hungry. She helped establish the Homestead Food Pantry at the First United Methodist Church, and in addition to being named as Homestead, she won the Talent Award, which is a beautiful soloist, so we're going to have her sing, Mayor, if that's okay one of these days.
Please.
And she received a scholarship to Miami-Dade College. She is a senior at Robert Morgan and a member of the Chorus Academy, and she plans to major in broadcast journalism at Miami-Dade. Next step in her pageant career will be competing for the crown of Miss Florida this July in St. Petersburg, and I am sure that her parents are very, very proud, as her father, Paul, is one of our very own. He's an officer with the Homestead Police Department, and her mom works at the First United Methodist Church. So, Tiffany, congratulations. And would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Well, thank you for that. Good evening. My name is Tiffany Hernandez, and I am your Miss Homestead 2011. As Ms. Waldman said, I got involved in pageantry about 2 years ago, and I've loved it ever since because of the amazing scholarship opportunities that there are. And it also gives me a wonderful opportunity to encourage other people to be involved in my platform, which is Feeding the Hungry. I volunteer every Saturday at our local food pantry, Homestead Food Pantry, located at First United Methodist Church, and I invite all of you to come and join me every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and we help serve food to needy families in the community, 3 days worth of food for every family. It's a wonderful experience, and I promise you'll come more than once. As she said, in July, I'm going to be competing at the Miss Florida pageant. I get the honor of representing our city once again, and I look forward to the opportunity of being an amazing role model and showcasing this community. If you'd like to book an appearance for me, you can visit the Miss Homestead Scholarship Foundation website at www.misshomestead.com.
Thank you very much.
Officer Hernandez, would you like to come forward, please? We can't leave our own out. You should be so very, very proud. And let me just tell you, this child has not just been working with the Feed the Hungry since she's been in the pageant world. She's been doing it for a very long time. She's very devoted. Come.
Please, Mom and Dad, both come up. Come on, Mom.
Chief is doing his best here.
This is a proud moment.
But this child's been very involved with her church and with the program, so I'm very, very proud of her. She's always been special to me. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Would
Good
you like
job.
to say something?
No.
No. Let's get a picture together. Oh, the whole family.
Let's get little
Great.
sister.
Let's move over just a little bit and get a picture here, because Tiffany, I need to put this on my wall. Okay.
Beautiful family.
So let's all root for Tiffany in
Yes.
July.
Here we go.
Thank you, Tiffany. Mayor.
Please.
Maria Garza, would you join me, please? Maria came to me just a few short weeks ago with an idea to have a celebration and a festival here in Homestead. And we talked about it over lunch, and within 2 hours we had set forth a festival that you have no idea how excited we are about. It's a Cinco de Mayo festival, but it's going to be held on May 7th. It's a little confusing, but I'll let Maria talk about it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Mayor, and Council. Good evening, and happy Easter to you, belated, but I know the Lord's blessings upon the city and each and every one of you. It is my desire and my family's desire as well. And Judy's right, you know, when we were talking about Cinco de Mayo, we were thinking of doing a great festival for the city of Homestead on Cinco de Mayo. However, in talking with the merchants of downtown Homestead, Chrome Avenue, as well as the merchants on Washington Avenue, the idea grew, and sitting with this woman who is so tenacious and full of energy, we moved the festival to 7th of May with the same idea, same great reason for hosting such an event, but moving it to a Saturday so that we would allow members of our community, extended community, south of Day County and north of Day County as well, to learn more about Homestead. And if I may, just briefly, I want to tell you that the reason for doing this is two-pronged, if I will. One is to highlight the beautiful downtown Homestead, the district, the historic district, bring businesses or bring an idea, create awareness a little bit more to those businesses in that area, and also to have an opportunity to raise funds for the children of farm workers. The festival has grown to be a phenomenal event, and I want to just share with you the flyer. Thanks to Judy's intervention, to the Vice Mayor, we have been able, and to Lale, John Reese from Lale Sports, we have been able to secure the performance of two-time Grammy Award winner John Secada. So we're very excited because he's kicking off the, I guess, his latest album.
It's the first time he's performed in the United States in a long time, and it's a free concert. And he called me on the phone.
He is thrilled to come to Homestead and perform. And by the way, all of these events are free. We have, and this is not just a festival, it's a cultural event through which platform we intend to highlight really what makes Homestead unique, the culture, the celebrate the diversity that we have, and just move forward with that. So we want to extend an invitation to everyone to come and participate on the jalapeno eating contest. So Mayor, Mr. City Attorney, City Manager, and members of the council, we understand that we're short on contestants for the jalapeno eating contest. So we have applications down here. You get a grand prize of $25 and a glass of water. So you'll do great.
I'd also like to thank Dade Medical College and Gus from what is it? Care Plus. It's just unbelievable how people are just coming out of the woodwork to help us. We're going to have entertainment from 12 until 10 p.m. at night. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Mr. Sakata's concert will be live feed internationally. In all countries. You can use your iPhone and watch it. We're going to have a big LED screen on Losner or on Main Street, Chrome Avenue. It's just going to be amazing. So we're expecting thousands of people, and we want you to come out. We want you to enjoy this, and it's our gift to you. So thank you, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you. This wouldn't be possible without your support, without the support of the City of Florida City Commissioner Dennis Moss. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
And I think we need to make it very clear the City of Homestead stepped up to the plate, and we are co-sponsoring this to the tune of $15,000.
Yes.
We look forward to it. It's going to be one heck of a show, and I thank you very much, Maria Geiser, and I thank you, Vice Mayor, for all what you've done.
You're welcome. We're meeting almost every day.
Applications for the jalapeno eating contest?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. All right, let's we'll go back to some business here. I passed over the additions, deletions, and deferrals. Do we have any additions or deletions from our agenda? Deferrals. Anything, Mr. City Attorney, City Manager?
Yes. Under legislative matters, the tabs 16 and 17 were put on the agenda by in error.
Okay, 16.
That deals with the racetrack, and you'll be seeing those again, but we have to wait to get them back from the state.
16 and
so
17,
just
we're going to
premature.
remove, for the record. Okay, that takes us down to a consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, if we could have a motion just to remove
I'm
that.
sorry, a motion to remove 16 and 17 from the agenda.
I'll move it.
Second, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Okay, consent agenda, September 29th, consent agenda. We have a motion?
Move it.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into tab 12.
Yes, Mayor, please be advised the following items on the agenda are quasi-judicial in nature. If you wish to comment upon these items, please indicate the item number you would like to address when the announcement regarding the quasi-judicial item is made. An opportunity for persons to speak on each item will be made available after the applicant and staff has made their presentations on each item. Swearing in, all testimony, including public testimony and evidence, will be made under oath or affirmation. Additionally, each person who gives testimony may be subject to cross-examination. If you do not wish to either be cross-examined or sworn, your testimony will be given its due weight. The general public will not be permitted to cross-examine witnesses, but the public may request the council to ask questions of staff or witnesses on their behalf. The full agenda packet on each item is hereby entered into the record, and persons representing organizations must present evidence of their authority to speak for the organization. Further details of the quasi-judicial procedure may be obtained from the clerk. In accordance with Code Section -2591, any lobbyist must register before addressing the council on any of the following items. At this time, council members must disclose any ex parte communications they've had concerning any of the following quasi-items. Hearing none at this time, the clerk will swear in any persons who wish to testify on any of the following quasi-items.
Please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, hereby swear or affirm that the information I present shall be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Thank you. You may be seated.
Tab 12 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting tentative replat approval for Martinique at Oasis, located in the southeast corner of the Oasis PUD, west of Southwest 147th Avenue and north of 328th Street, North Canal Drive, as legally described in Exhibit A, an approximately 16.13-acre site consisting of 241 single-family units and providing an effective date.
Motion to move it? Second. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Staff report.
Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the resolution to replat the Martinique at the Oasis Pod L pursuant to Section 24-46 through 57 of the City Code. This would allow the development to be modified from 246 condominium units to 241 fee simple lots. A final plat was approved for Pod L on April 3rd, 2006. It contained 246 condominium units. The basic design and layout for the project will remain the same as in the proposed plan. The new plat would consist of 241 fee simple dwelling units. Other than this, minor changes have been made to the approved site plan, yet these do not alter the basic design of the original plan. They not violate the minimum PUD requirements, and they do not violate the original conditions of the approval. The proposed changes are to facilitate the development of a property as a townhouse community with fee simple lots.
Questions from council?
Questions, please.
Please, Mr. Brooks.
I see in our package, we have certain things like super cans may be a problem. The HOA is going to be dissolved. And I understand through our conversation earlier, James, that the HOA of some sort would be put back on there, because I believe if it's dissolved, they would be the only neighborhood over there, or pod or whatever, that wouldn't have one in place upon building. So we'll make sure that they do have that when they come back for final plat and stuff, or site plan, whatever stage we end up, and get them back.
Yes, that is correct. This is the tentative plat stage. When the applicant leaves here, they'll go to the county. They'll go through the tentative plat stage of the county. County will then, when the county approves the tentative plat, it'll come back before this council for final plat. At that point, pursuant to your platting regulations, subdivision and platting regulations, the applicant will need to submit their HOA docs, which we'll review to make sure that the city's protected in the event that the HOA ever dissolves or anything happens and they no longer can take care of their own roadways and their own common maintenance. So those documents will be approved prior to final plat.
And just one other comment, if I could, Mayor.
Sure, please.
Super cans, this is, I guess, maybe to Mr. Lampert, through the chair here, or to the manager and to Mr. Lampert. It says super cans are problems, and I know that in the past with some condos / apartments or townhouses that have been built here in the city that people don't have places to put them. So I would like to see that we now start working towards a solution for this problem so that when the place opens up, we don't have this problem then. Before it's built and all that, I would like to see if there's some sort of solution that the city, because recycling is a big part of us now, and having these cans available to the citizens. And I would like to make sure that at some point that that's addressed before we get way down the road somewhere. And let's look at it now and take care of it. If it's on here, then it's come to somebody's attention and it's a concern to them also. So I would like to make sure that's taken care of. And then my final question is, James, did you find an answer to my other question on the, or do you have one? Because I'm sure somebody else will do the arithmetic and come up with why is that allowed? And my question was, 241 acres divided by 22.6 comes out to 10.6 acres. And I believe that when that PUD was built, 10 units per acre was the maximum, and it comes out to 10.6. So I'm just wondering where the math goes. Was the math done incorrectly when this PUD was designed, or what the state of that could be? Just a quick question and some quick math.
Well, all I can tell you is that at the time that this PUD came through for approval, you all were allowing developers to average density.
Let's clarify that.
Well,
I wasn't sitting here.
I should say that
the
many of the approvals that came to the council were approved on an average of density. So the PUD might have been 200 acres and then had different component parts which equated to X number of units, and then that could have been spread over the development depending on the various types of the pods in the green space throughout the development. So probably, I'm assuming, I don't have any information, that's probably what happened here. Some other pod probably provided for greater lot coverage, more open space. It all fit to match the total PUD requirements, but that's probably why the density is slightly higher at 10.66 here than 10.
Just could somebody in staff maybe dig that up for me just so I could get
We'll check on
evidence?
it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions from council? Hearing no further questions, I'll open the public hearing. Any questions from the public, for or against? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Tracy Slavens, 701 Brickell Avenue. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, and I'm happy to answer any of your additional questions. In regards to the density issue, James is correct. The density was done when the entire PUD was approved, and overall it met all the density requirements under the zoning code. But today we're just changing this one pod within the PUD.
If I may, Mayor.
Yes, please.
No, I understood. I just wanted to make sure because I know somebody's going to ask me and say, when you divide that in, that doesn't meet the requirements of the time. So I would just like to have that available and for clarification. Thank you.
Of course.
I think that question's coming up now. Allow this person.
Ed Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive. Just wanted to comment. I was sitting on planning and zoning when that pod Oasis came up, and that was exactly the reasoning. You had open spaces, so we looked at the densities and made sure that weren't violated. But they did have some over in one and less on another. And you also remember, Councilman Burgess, we had the issue between you and at East Lake and the berm and what they're going to build.
I still remember it every day.
So that's happened 4 or 5 years ago. And now, basically, they've just gone to a different ownership. And they explained to us in planning and zoning that the market has changed. And if you have lived in a condo, you know the problems with condo living. I live in one. I'm moving out of it. I'm going into a a different community. I've had enough with condo living and HOAs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Any further questions? Hearing and seeing no further questions from the public, I'll close the public hearing. Any final questions from council? Hearing, seeing no final questions, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tab 13.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Moving on to tab 13, it's a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving a request to vacate a portion of Southeast 1st Street between Maury Drive and Southeast 6th Avenue and reserving to the city all rights over any needed public utility easements as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Ms. Lobos, second?
Second.
Okay, staff report.
Staff recommends that the mayor and council approve the resolution to vacate a portion of Southeast 1st Street between Maury Drive and Southeast 6th Avenue and reserving to the city all rights over any needed public utility easements. It's apparent that this road has ceased to exist as a public right-of-way at some time in the past, prior to the construction of a building and a parking area on top of it. It's also clear that the action and the intent of that time was for the abandoned road not to connect 6th Avenue and 5th Avenue as it originally intended when planned. From examination of the city land use maps, this portion of the road is not mapped. Buildings have been constructed on, and a parking lot constructed over the space for the right-of-way on the property to the west.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Questions from council? Hearing no questions from council, I'll open the public hearing. Anyone from the public want to speak on this? Yes, sir. Go to the podium. Name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Jay Suarez. I'm president of Baywatch Apartments, and all I like to say is that when I bought the property, we did a title search and nothing ever came up, and as far as I know, we've been paying taxes on that property ever since that we bought it, and it's been used as a parking. So there was a piece of paper lost somewhere between 1932 and now, but it is what it is. It's a parking. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, sir. Any further questions from the public? Hearing no further questions, seeing no further, back to council. Any final questions for council? Hearing no final questions, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Waldman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tab 14.
Yes. Tab 14 is two options, Mayor. The first option is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, approving the request for a sign variance from the Code of Ordinances for Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac, located at 30305 South Dixie Highway, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date. And option number 2 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, denying the request for sign variance from the Code of Ordinances for Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac, located at 30305 South Dixie Highway, as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Okay, motion.
I move to approve the request for sign variance.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Staff, I'm confused. Give me 1 and 2. Which one is it?
I put the motion to approve it.
On 1.
Mayor.
Yeah, but it's open for discussion now from council, so I just asked a question.
Homestead, do you want me to give you my recommendation? My recommendation as the planning director would be to deny the variance. Homestead Chevrolet has recently moved location. Their agreement with Chevrolet is said to require a 30-foot pole sign on the new site. The pole sign would be very similar to the sign on the previous site, which has been at that location for over 30 years. Many other signs in the area are similar in nature. The interesting part about this application is that the applicant has apparently gained a verbal approval to move the sign to the new location from the previous Development Services Director. In processing the issue, our department had found no record of the application, no record of the approval. In researching the code, it was determined that we wouldn't typically give administrative approvals for this type of thing, since the sign being proposed no longer meets the requirements of the code and would therefore require a variance. So it was decided in an abundance of caution that this was a policy decision, and one that's most appropriately made by the City Council. So as such, you have two options as stated, one to approve or one to deny.
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I know if through you to the department head, it states in our package that he's required by Chevrolet. Has the Homestead Chevrolet provided any documentation that says that they have to have this to be part of their franchise agreement? And if so, could you supply that to me tonight?
I don't have anything like that.
You don't?
No, sir.
Could I ask the applicant, if I see him standing, are you willing to share that document with us that requires you to have this sign?
I would have to try to get my hands on it, but even the permit that was filled out, the sign is not owned by Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac. That sign is actually owned by General Motors, and we lease it from General Motors. And the application and the installation of the sign is actually all processed through General Motors, not through us.
Okay, thank you. If there. Okay. Yes, sir, please.
Mr. Mayor, it's one of those things where I look at the sign and I really would prefer a monument-type sign. I mean, I drive down 8th Street and you see all the new monument sign. You kind of see what the new code envisioned and what's been going on for a while. You drive down US 1 and you have all these pole signs. And I have to agree that the pole signs aren't nearly as attractive as the monument signs. Now, as far as the square footage, I mean, I don't have a problem with the variance for the square footage. Because again, I think that, we talked about this when the hotel site came before us, and that was, we maybe need to look at the code to see if our major corridors, 8th Street, Turnpike, maybe even US 1, we should allow larger signs given the corridor there. So I'm not really sure I have a problem with the square footage, but I would prefer a newer, nicer looking monument sign. So I don't know what your opinion is to that. I mean, I'd like to hear your response to why you couldn't do a monument sign, why it has to be a pole sign. And then I'll have some other comments after that.
I'm unfortunately not in control of what sign it is. The signs are all designed by General Motors. They're approved nationally by General Motors to have a uniform look, since we are a franchise similar to Chili's or the Hampton Inn or any other business that's a franchise. The signs are not controlled by the individual dealers. General Motors designs a sign that's consistent, so anywhere you travel between Georgia, Louisiana, here, anywhere in Dade County, you'll find the identical same sign in front of a Chevrolet GM dealer, no matter where you go. So we're not in control of the sign. Even though the sign states it's a pole sign, in physical appearance, it's not exactly a pole-looking sign. I brought a picture of the old sign that was in front of the Blake dealership at the time. And as you see, it's not a pole sign. It actually has two stands, and it's a complete sign. This sign, since it's been taken down, after I had conversation with prior management here in Homestead when we decided to make the move, and they said it would not be a problem to relocate it since it's been in the community for over 50 years at that location, from Lee Park to Blake to now Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac. At the time, we could not approve the permit on the sign because the sign did have to be upgraded. I was told it had to meet new UL standards. And we had to make sure it was designed to take the current wind load, which has changed since the time it was originally put in. So basically at my expense and General Motors' expense, the sign was taken down and shipped to Canada, where we brought the sign to the new UL code for lighting and whatnot, and then shipped it back down, which took almost 8 months to do. So as much as we would love to have gotten the permit done in advance, we were unable to until the sign met the code, and we had to also bring in an engineering firm, General Motors did, to redesign the foundation where the sign's going to get put in to also withstand the new wind load that's out there. But it's not quite just a simple pole sign as it would appear.
Mr. Mayor, follow up?
Please.
And that's, I did speak with staff on this particular issue, and my biggest concern is I don't really want to have pole signs going forward. So I don't want to approve a variance tonight necessarily that allows for a pole sign, because then the next person comes in and says, well, you gave a variance to them, why don't we get a variance? And before you know it, we've kind of undercut our code, and now we've got all these pole signs going up instead of what we intended, I guess, over time. But in this situation, it is my understanding that you relied on kind of a representation by our prior planning and zoning director that if you remove the sign, you could put that sign back up. So you you are in a kind of unique circumstance that I don't anticipate, I hope, and that we never have again. I hope we never have that issue again. So I could go along with approving the variance to allow this pole sign, but I want it to be clear that I'm only allowing it because of the expense, the hardship, and things that you've gone through on reliance on, apparently, on somebody in the city from the planning and zoning side. So that, someone doesn't come up here again and say, well, you gave them a variance, why don't you give me a variance? So, if I support it tonight, that's why I'm going to support it, is because of your reliance on something that was said, not necessarily because I think we should have pole signs going forward as a common source. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Further questions from council?
Mayor, I have.
Yes, Ms. Weissman, go ahead.
Thank you. I have a lot of problems with this, and I hope that we can talk this out.
Sure.
I know there's a process, correct, Joe? There's a process when you want to change a sign, when you want to put up a sign. There's a process, and it bothers me that in the P&Z minutes it clearly states, as he says, the minutes say that he explained how Mr. Perinos told him it would be okay to move the sign as long as he brought the sign up to the new building code. And then he sent the sign up to Canada for upgrades, which took him about 6 months. But, I mean, did you really not know that there was a process that you had to fill out an application, submit pictures, or did you do that?
Ma'am, I took a building that was on US 1 that was dilapidated for over 6 years in Homestead, and it needed over probably $400,000 to $500,000 of fix-up that I did, mostly from Homestead employees that came in and contractors that did the work.
And I appreciate that, but I'm asking about the sign.
In the process of doing that, I developed a relationship with the city of Homestead as far as getting all the permitting done, and I relied on the city of Homestead to give me direction which way to go. So part of that was everything that we'd done together that they said would happen pretty much happened without any issues. They said, go ahead and do this, bring the check here, pick up your stamp there, pick up a paper there, post this on the door, and I did. When it came to moving the sign, I asked the same questions. Is it going to be a problem? And again, what I was told by several people, some in this room, that it would not be a tremendous issue, that it should not be an issue based on the fact that the sign was already in the area and it had been there for many, many years, and they understood that it was a franchise-related item that had to be there. That as long as we brought the sign to code, that it should not be a problem, and I relied upon their expertise and the relationship that I've had with them over an 8-month period or even longer while we brought this building back up to code.
And when it says in the minutes, now he wants to put the sign back up where it was 30 years ago, which dealership is he referring to? Because this sign was at 15. Okay, I'm sorry.
There are two locations. There's the old Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac location at 30401 and the new location at 30501, which is right next door to each other. The original location, 30401, which is Homestead Chevrolet Cadillac, had one right in the front. The location right next to it, where we're at now, which is 30401, had the identical sign in front of it as well, but it used to be a Pontiac Buick GMC store at the time. So when that business went out of business, General Motors owns the sign, so General Motors took their sign back at that time, and we're hoping with your approval that we can move this sign from where it was at 30401 and just relocate it back at the same area where it was before.
And we have rules in our existing code that says, I don't have it right in front of me, but if it's there for such a period of time, and Joe, can you help me out with this?
If it disappears for more than 90 days, it needs to be replaced to conform to code.
And I know in 2008, when we said, and I pulled the minutes, I think it was September 2nd and September 15th, where we went over and over and over the code and the changes in the code. Another thing that I wanted to ask, I know I did some research, and the cities of Cutler Bay, Weston, Hollywood, Miramar, Sunrise, Lauderdale by the Sea, and Miami Lakes prohibit pole signs. So what does Chevrolet do when they have a dealership in those cities? What do they do?
I cannot speak for them, but I can tell you if you drive by all those areas, you'll find those signs standing up. So I would assume it's probably the same thing as the Hampton Inn and Chili's and the new
But the
Italian
Hampton Inn is
restaurants.
still a monument sign.
But they're all exceptions to the rule, ma'am, because
I'm not
franchise.
trying to argue.
I'm sorry?
I'm not trying to argue.
No, I'm just saying there are exceptions made when a business comes in that's a contributor to the economy and employs 100-plus employees and brings in a tax revenue and is recognized as a demand of that particular business, not of mine to be particular, but that of General Motors, that if you're going to have a franchise, I can only assume, because I was not at any of those locations, that happens. And I can tell you that I do have another Kia dealership in Perrine, which has a 30-plus foot sign there, and in 2005, we replaced that sign, and that was not in code at the time, but it also was not a problem to make that exception, only because it's almost a universal across the United States that those signs have to exist for the manufacturers to grant franchises.
But you see, I'm not familiar with their code, and I don't know what time lapsed between the time that you replaced the sign and if the sign was there, and there's a lot of ifs, ands, and and I don't want to go there, but I know that many cities are trying to make pole signs obsolete, and I personally don't like them at all. I'll just be very, very, very clear with you. But there's just a lot to this. I even thought about asking that it be deferred until we could get more information, because I certainly didn't have time. I just found out the cities that didn't, that prohibited pole signs, and I didn't have time, of course, to ride every city or check the yellow pages to see if there were, in fact, dealerships in those cities and if there were variances to the code. But I don't know. I have a lot of questions. It really bothers me that this city took on the authority to say, that'll be okay, knowing that that was against our ordinance, totally against our ordinance.
And ma'am, I wish I could speak to that, but I really don't know.
I know.
I'm just the...
But I'm just telling you, it really bothers me that happened.
The only thing I can think of in defense of the city is their sign has really been there forever and ever, and maybe someone didn't know the exact code, and sometimes code can be very thick in substance.
We just did this 2008.
Yeah, again,
and Ms. Lobos, you were here with me when we did it. I mean, it was very extensive.
Mr. Burgess as well.
And Mr. Burgess as well. Yeah.
I think we're working on it to
but
kind of compromise.
but we did vote on it, and it's what it was, and it wasn't in the city limits for a very long time. It was on the corner of 15th and US 1, which was not our city limit.
Well, Blake Chevrolet's been there for probably over 30 years.
I know. I've lived here since I was 8 years old. I know. We've bought many cars from 10 years ago. But so I'm not trying to argue that. I'm trying to if you want to call it a discussion, my discussion is once we do it for one, you're going to open the door over and over and over, and that US 1 corridor is going to be just what we were trying not to have it to be. And I don't even like to use the example of the Marriott and the Publix across the street, because those are monument signs. They're different than pole signs.
I think you could look at this as a monument sign. I don't know how it qualifies, but when I looked at the base of the Publix sign today driving over here, it's the same. This is not a pole. It's got two standing legs and a center. So I don't know how it's being called as a...
May I ask the question of our staff expert?
The question is it a pole sign or a monument sign? It's clearly a pole sign.
I mean, I don't know how that's judged, but I mean, I would venture to say that part of the reasoning for why this is occurring is if you look down for safety reasons down US 1, it's a 45-mile-an-hour street that has 6 lanes and a center island in the middle. If you're to put a small sign on a location, it'd be hard to read, which means people are going to have to slow down. And if they're trying to pull into the driveway, and we've had several people not see the location now because there is no sign, and we've had 2 accidents in front of the dealership, people stopping at the last minute, going from 45 to try to make the turn in because they can't see the store. So it is good for safety to have a big sign down US 1, and I would assume that's why a lot of the signs on US 1 are big pole and monument signs, because it's hard to see it when you're traveling at 45 miles an hour going down US 1. And I could see why the city would put the code in place originally to enforce it, because a lot of times you find a small location, maybe a 5,000 square foot building with a huge 20-foot sign or 30-foot sign in front of it, and that does look awkward, and I do agree. In this particular case, the location where we're at takes probably 2/3, if not more, of an entire city block on the boulevard, and we're in approximately a 4-acre facility. The building is about 2,600 square feet. So it's a very, very large location. So when you put a large sign, it actually blends with the size. If you put a small size sign in such a large location, you probably would not be able to recognize it when you're driving down the street at 45 miles an hour.
And I appreciate that, and you know, as a suggestion, I know there's a lot of empty billboards along US 1 north of Homestead. Maybe, you know, you might want to consider putting a billboard up, you know, advertising your business. But again, you know, if it were a monument sign and it was the size on the top of the monument sign, you know, I'd have less of a problem with it. And I think you were going to answer something for me.
Well, again, the definition of a pole sign says it shall mean a sign erected upon a pole or poles which is wholly independent of any building for support. So we went over this numerous times as staff and can't find another definition for what the diagram shows other than a pole sign.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Lobos. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I did move to approve this, and it's not against staff, and it's not against Mr. Gretzes. As a matter of fact, I greatly appreciate your professionalism and your perspective on this, and I understand that there's nothing in, as far as paperwork is concerned, to validate what the applicant is stating happened in the past with prior staff and a prior director. But I am in support of this because I think that it's a very unique case that we're dealing with, and this is part of the cleanup process. This is we're cleaning up what the prior staff member, what the prior director did, and unfortunately, Blake Chevrolet was caught in this transition, and so it's up to council to take the approach of whether we're going to be business friendly, which is how I'm looking at it. It's a very unique circumstance. Like I said, I know I spoke to Mr. Corradino through the chairman. If I can ask to clarify some questions that I did ask you when we were having that conversation, and I did ask how similar is this sign to what it already exists. How much further down the street is this sign going to move in? What is the conversation that this applicant had with the prior staff? What is your perspective on it? And I knew that you were going to recommend to deny it because the code states one thing and this applicant is, that's why the applicant's asking for a variance. And so I'm just taking a very practical approach to this. And then, Mayor, I just wanted to bring the mayor and the council up to speed. You did give me the task of looking at the code. You had some concerns that from the 2008 revisions that perhaps there were some things that were too difficult for the businesses to deal with at this moment, especially because the economy is down the way that it is. So I did meet with staff. I met with the city manager. What we are putting together is a format for the council to review, and that way code enforcement staff, the city manager, and council will all be on the same page as to what this administration wants to do going forward. And so at that time, even though we just revised it in 2008, as a council, we will be approving or denying what exists on the code, or we're going to be looking for a variance. I know that we were going for aesthetics when we were talking about monument versus pole signs, and we were looking at it from a perspective of the look of the city. Well, it's a very different conversation to have in this economy than we did in the prior economy, and so it's, you know, we've done several code revisions, and it is very likely that at some point an administration says that they want to be more business friendly, and for the time being they want the code to be revised to say something else. And maybe if the economy gets better, you want to go back to just the aesthetic part of the city and the way that it looks. So, but it's up to this council when this workshop gets put together, and I know Mr. Corradino and Mr. Gretzes are working hard on making sure that this workshop comes up quickly so that the council can go ahead and look at that code revision. And again, just from a practical approach, I think that the appropriate thing to do here, considering all the facts of the circumstances that they find themselves in, is to go ahead and approve this variance. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lobos.
Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
To the applicant, is there any chance, because I honestly am against it also, and two things that trouble me here tonight is you keep saying that it is a GM requirement. I spoke to a dealer today who's a friend of mine who has 5 GM dealerships in Louisiana Now, maybe the rules are different in Louisiana from GM than they are in Florida, but he says that's not the case. He told me that the way he has to do it is every city he goes to, he has to abide by whatever their rules are, that GM does not get involved in signs because they don't have the time, nor do they want to waste their time of going from each city to each city, fighting with people like we are, not fighting tonight, but, are stating their case and arguing and going back and forth. So I have a little trouble with that, and that's one reason why I asked our director tonight if you had supplied something that said it's part of my agreement, franchise agreement, or whatever you guys would call it. Because when I spoke with my buddy today out in Louisiana, he said that's not the case. So that's why I have a problem with this application tonight.
I can tell you that I can provide you with paperwork that clearly shows I do not own that sign. It's not mine.
Okay,
I lease it, and I lease it from General. It's called GMDI. It's a company which is General Motors Leasing, and the sign
You
is
lease the sign from them.
from
But
General Motors.
are there other models available that you can lease from them?
I'm not sure what models they have. When the conversation came up, it was a pre-existing sign, and with the prior administration, they said if we get it up to code, so the sign was shipped out. I do know for a fact that the General Motors, unfortunately, after bankruptcy, the company that makes signs is out of business, and the only signs that are available are the prior pre-existing signs that are getting refurbished because there's no more signs to be made at this point.
Is there any way to aesthetically improve its looks? The sign that you're doing, is there any way to dress it up and make it look a little bit nicer than just, I believe, the two I-beams or whatever it would be installed upon, and to try to make that, because I know, and this isn't you, because it was prior to you buying it, I know that when you go by there, it would be rusting and the paint would be peeling off, and it'd be 10 years of ironwork just hanging there. And that's, like you said, Highway 1 is a major corridor with a lot of people going up and down. You take great pride in your property over there. I know that, and the work that you're doing. And I would just like to see, if we did come to an agreement on this tonight, or whatever, that, could you aesthetically maybe improve it a little bit? I'm not asking for $100,000 of.
No, it's already incurred that, actually.
Put some shrubbery around the bottom, maybe with some, mulch or whatever, to dress it up, other than just two poles stuck in.
No, absolutely. First of all, the sign was completely redone. I requested that at my expense to actually redo all the stainless steel, all the panels, repaint it and refurbish it back to new condition, because I was investing in redoing the building, and I didn't want an ugly old sign with rust and whatnot that had been there for many, many years. So the complete exterior of the sign has been completely redone. All the stainless steel and the chrome is brand new, and all the painting is brand new. All the inner workings are brand new. The only part that's still original is the interior structure portion of the sign. So that's been done. And the location where I put it, I already had one of our local farmers already come in and put a planting area with trees and shrubbery and flowers all around the center island, where the sign will actually be going in the middle of that. So there'll be a very nice flower arrangements along with some trees right around the base of that particular sign.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm done.
Thank you.
May I see a picture of that? I mean, we don't have anything to look at.
You want to
Absolutely.
send that over?
Would you like me to bring it up to you?
Yeah, would you please?
Sure.
Has everybody had a chance to ask one question that wants to ask it?
This is the original.
Just want to make a comment.
This is a temporary banner that was put over the old name. The new sign, this has completely been repainted, all redone. Everything inside is going to be redone.
Is there any way you can?
Excuse me, we just need to get the conversation on the microphone.
Just go back to the mic and we'll hang on to it. Yeah, the question I had, I think everybody's had a question so far that wanted to ask something.
I just wanted to say a comment,
Sure,
Mayor.
please.
I think I am in support of approving this variance, and I think this is a case where this is a company that's been here for such a long time. I think they were led in the sense that, it should be grandfathered in because it's a sign here. And again, kind of coming off of what Ms. Lobo said, is that we definitely want to be business friendly in a time like this, and any signs. We've been discussing the importance of signs, and we are correct, and this is a unique sign. I don't see this coming before us anymore for any variances in the polls. I would hope not. And if so, we know that we will not be supporting it. But because of the history of this company being here, because the sign was not, did not belong to you, it had to be removed. Had it been another, just a regular business place that had a pre-existing sign, the sign would have stayed there and we would not be discussing this issue. But because of how it worked with them, it's their sign, they had to take it. You are left to put a sign back. So with that, we'll be in support of the variance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Let me ask you, on this pole sign, two-legged pole sign, could you not use the proper sheet metal all the way down to where you don't even see the columns, and it's just that nice
That's just what I asked
gray
you.
color all the way down?
Let's put it this way. I can take on the expense of putting it in, and I just hope GM won't get angry at me, but I'll be more than glad to do that.
Yeah, well, it's not that much further. I was just saying it may help you because
Yeah.
you may be able to do a little
Anything
more on
to
that.
make the thing,
Yeah.
look, anything to make the sign look better and improve the visual appearance of Homestead and US 1 is, I think, in everybody's best interest, including mine.
These are tough times, and I personally believe that the workshop's going to bring out some things that some people here aren't going to like, and some people are going to like, because I want to be business friendly, and I mean really business friendly, because I want dealerships and other types of businesses like yours to continue to move to Homestead, and I don't want to put you in a tough time, in a tough position. I don't think that two-legged steel post completely covered by sheet metal to the ground is a bad-looking sign. That's my personal opinion. Now, this one doesn't have it all the way down, but that's why I asked that. And I hope that you'll consider, as these people come to this committee meeting, because there are a lot of angry people in Homestead right now about the signage. And I'm not going to pick on it, because every day I pick on the manager about why can't we look like, Pembroke Pines or here. But we're not Pembroke Pines, and we're not Palmetto Bay, and we're not Pinecrest, and we're not out to try to follow anybody else's sign ordinances. We need to get on this workshop, and I know you're trying hard, and I was going to bring it up under my business tonight. There are people every day that talk to me about it. They come here and go to Lourdes' office and say, when will this meeting start? They want to be heard. We vote them up, we vote them down. But I'm going to try to find a compromise between this monument sign and this pole sign. I'm not gonna walk away from these pole signs, because I think they're affordable, but yet can still be very aesthetically pleasing if they're actually sheet metal and boxed right. You'll never know it's a pole sign. You'll know something's on there holding it up, but it'll be continued like a monument sign. I'm sorry for your hardship. I'm sorry that now we have this sketchy memory. I put poor Tom on the spot, but I'm not going to do it, because I know he was there in one or two of those conversations, and I know what I've been told. So with that said, I would hope that we would look at the Chevrolet dealership as one that said, I could have moved a half a mile up the road further north, but I decided to take ownership in Homestead. Just like the Toyota dealership said to me when I went down there and did like a little ribbon cutting. Mayor, we want to be part of your town. We're not in your city limits, but we want to say we are Homestead Toyota. And we need to return the favor right back to every one of them. Toyota, Chevrolet, Kia, whoever comes, and work with these people. Just a minute. With that said, I'm going to vote in favor of it, up or down, however it falls for you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
May I say? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, what I was asking our developmental service expert was if we could just put a panel in there. It doesn't even have to be sheetrock, right,
No,
Joe?
sheet metal.
Sheet metal?
It could be anything to fill the void between
Anything
the
to
two
fill it,
poles.
so it doesn't have to be real expensive.
No, I will.
And that would make that would qualify that as a monument sign. That was my only thing. I'm trying to find a solution, not a problem. So that's why I asked for the picture. I walked over there. I asked the gentleman that's heading our department, and he said any kind of a panel in there. You could even put another GM down here, GM, so you really know you're out there. But as long as you fill in that hole.
I can tell you that I will do my best to try to do that. I will contract some people to come out and take a look at it.
Do you give your word that you'll put something
100%.
Right.
If I am allowed by General Motors to alter that sign, I will 100% put effort towards it, and I will forward it to you.
Put a panel in there and put a beautiful little bush in front of it.
If anything, I'll put a beautiful plant if they won't allow me to put a panel.
Now you got to put something in there. You got to fill that hole. They're going to let you. They're going to let you.
If they will, I will be glad to do so, absolutely.
They want your business as much as we want your business.
Right.
So if you need a letter from the city, I'm sure the mayor would be happy to write you one.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So just put something in that hole.
I will.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions from council? Okay, I'll open up to the public. Any questions from the public? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and come back to council. Any final questions from council? Madam Clerk, please call.
If you want that to be a condition of this approval, then somebody needs to move to amend the resolution to provide that. Otherwise, you have his word, and if you're comfortable with that, that's fine. But if you want it actually in the resolution, and maybe you can show it to GM, then it needs to be a condition.
Actually, if that's the case, the resolution that approves the variances is 3 variances: 1 to sign height, 1 to sign face, and 1 to sign type. And so if you don't want the type to be a pole sign, you just don't approve the sign variance for the type.
So shouldn't we vote, Richard, on the motion as it is, or vote on the amended motion first?
I think that just to be clear, James, so that would make it into a monument sign. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
By closing it?
There's a motion on the floor right now for approval of the variance, for approval of the resolution. That resolution, when you look to the section, the body of the resolution, it actually approves 3 variances for the sign height, the sign type, which would be
if we eliminated the variance for the sign type, would we get what the council's looking for, which is a sort of a filled-in pole sign?
Which is he would have to fill it in. It'd have to be a monument sign.
The motion would be to eliminate to grant the first 2 variances and to deny the 3rd variance.
As stated. Make a motion as stated.
A second.
That would be the amendment, right? You need to vote on the amendment first and then on the resolution as amended.
Okay, you're going to call on all 3?
No. You just need to vote. Right now you need to vote on the amendment, which basically eliminates the 3rd variance, and then on the motion as amended.
So 2 yeses make it right.
You're just going to vote once on the entire amendment.
Of just the 3rd portion of that being the pole sign.
Let me do it here. Look, we'll move to amend to remove the 3rd variance. Does that make it simpler?
The way it was is simple. As you stated it, the changes are already made in there, so that we're just going to approve it. We just stated the changes that we wanted in the last variance.
No, James says
no. No. Right now, the resolution provides for 3 different variances. What we're saying is that if you want to get the filled-in sign, you need to basically deny the 3rd variance. But you can do that just by amending the resolution to remove the approval for the 3rd variance. That's the amendment.
So, Mayor, may I clarify for myself?
Please, go ahead.
So if we vote yes on that, then we're saying, yes, we are going to allow him to
if you vote yes
fill
on
in.
that, right.
Okay, so an affirmative vote is
what you want.
Okay,
yes.
Gotcha.
Okay.
If we vote no, we accept it as is.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions from council?
So on the amendment would be the first vote.
Okay.
We need a second on the amendment. We have
I
the motion.
seconded.
You made the motion.
You made it. We need a separate second.
And I second.
You seconded it, Elvis?
Thank you.
Okay.
He made it.
He made it. Okay. A motion made by Elvis Maldonado, seconded by Ms. Wallman. Okay. Any further questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, let's call the amended motion.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Warman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, just for the applicant's sake, because I think the applicant might...
Now we need to vote on the motion as amended.
Councilwoman Lobos?
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado?
Yes.
Councilman Shelley?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Warman?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Mayor Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam
You want to
Clerk.
clarify, Jim?
I was going to tell the applicant, so the request to your sign height and to the amount of signage has been granted, but you don't get to have the pole sign. It has to be a monument sign. So you'll have to fill in the portion of the sign that you can see through to be solid.
Okay. I'll do my best to try to accomplish that.
Okay, so we've concluded. We called the second one, right? Yeah, okay, that's it?
That's it?
Yeah, you fill in the middle and the sign's yours.
Okay. I wish it was that easy, but it has to go through GM politics. So let me see if I can get through the GM political wheel and see if I can get that done. But thank you very much for counsel and for taking the time to examine this matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along to tab 15. Tab 15.
Yes, tab 15 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, granting the request of the Children's Gallery and Art Center for approval of a mural sign to be placed on the back wall of the building located at 107 North Chrome Avenue as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date. That's option 1. Option 2 is a resolution of the City of Homestead, Florida, denying the request of Children's Gallery and Art Center for approval of a mural sign to be placed on the back wall of the building located at 107 North Chrome Avenue as legally described in Exhibit A and providing for an effective date.
Motion. Thank you. Second. Thank you. Staff.
You have to tell us which option you're moving.
I'm moving approval. I'll move the approval. Have a second to move the approval?
Second.
Thank you. Staff report.
Yes, sir. This mural has been reviewed. It has no wording on it which could be construed as advertising. It is appropriate for its location in the immediate environment. It is proposed to be located at 107 North Chrome Avenue on the back wall dividing properties located on Chrome. The mural is 820 square feet. It's 320 square feet larger than code permits. It'll cover 31% of the wall will be painted on. That's 11% more than the code permits. Our recommendation would be to deny this because it exceeds the size limits allowed by code.
Okay, council, questions? Hearing no questions from council, open to the public. We have any questions from the public?
Mayor, I do have one question.
Okay, we'll come back. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Ed Powell, 2274 Southeast 27th Drive. If you all remember back, we had the issue with Borges Market, their mural sign. It came to planning and zoning. They came to us with a picture of what it was going to be, and it was going to be an interracial picture, and that got to be an issue, and we had conversation about what should be in it, shouldn't be in it. And here, we don't have any information. It's a sign, and I would think they would come to us with what they had in mind, what the sign was going to be about. Is it going to be about kids? Is it going to be about the community? So I don't think unless we see the sign and what it says that we can really make any decision.
Rendering of the zoning board.
Pardon?
It's a rendering of the zoning board.
There you go.
Under staff report, do we not usually have some like little photos they hand out, or?
Gentleman's got them back there.
Oh. Listen, your wife's going to get on. You better bring those things up here quickly. Huh? Butterflies.
The code says 20%. Thank you, first of all. The code says 20% on the wall.
Well, you don't have to really discuss that part of it. Right now, the question is, can you just show us a picture of it? You know that.
This is the original project.
Okay.
This is what it is.
Okay. All right.
These are toys.
Just show it to the audience, please. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any further questions from the audience on this picture? Okay. Hearing no further questions, I'm going to close the public hearing. I'll open now back up to council. Mr. Burgess, you got the floor.
Thank you, sir. My question is to the artist and those people, and bringing up the market where we had one up there, and they were supposed to take care of it and not let it deteriorate and all, and that hasn't happened. It's deteriorated in that. So I guess how long will the paint that you're putting up, be fade-proof or weatherproof? And do you guys have plans to make sure that it's maintained, changed out periodically, come back to us with in a year, come back with a new artist that wants to put something else back there? Or what's the concept and the process?
When we asked,
Sir, you need to speak into the microphone.
I'm sorry,
please.
when we asked the owner for the approval of the mural, we also agreed that we will take care of it for the next 10 years. We will seal the mural and we will put a special varnish so any graffiti will not be part of the mural. And if by any chance it gets damaged, we will fix it.
Hurricane Act of God, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Burgess. Yes, Mrs. Bowman. I heard it click.
Carlos, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why does it have to be 11? Is it 11% bigger than? I forget now. It's 11% more than code permits. Why does it have to be 11% bigger? Was there something else you wanted to put on that, or why does it have to be 11%?
Whatever is here is what we're going to put, but the thing is, the other 10%, it will be of no use or anything. I mean, we still need to have. It's a smaller 10%. That 10% will make a big difference on the mural. It's not a particular significance unless we do it, 31% of it.
Okay.
The picture here, there's half of the picture that's cut off. Is it cut off on that as well?
That's precisely the way it goes.
That's how it goes?
Yes. This is the end of the building. Here will be the street.
Okay, so you're saying if you get the extra 11%?
No, we're not going to finish. That's the design of it.
That's how it's supposed to be. Sorry.
It's art.
You know how much I love the art gallery. I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah, of course.
What is that picture, the green?
Well, this is part of the medical side of medicine. And this is the Vitruvian Man.
You can read it on the notes on what it said there, the image. It actually talks about it at the end.
I know, but I thought it was going to be completed. I didn't think that. Could you make the blue a little smaller and complete the sign? Because to me, I just.
It's art. I have to say it's art. I understand it.
Well, this is the way we designed it. It was approved. I hope.
Who approved it?
The owner of the building.
Oh, the owner. Okay.
Yes, he really liked it the way it is.
He's an artsy guy. Any further questions from council? No. You got to come up to the podium, ma'am, and give me your name and address, and let us see your pretty face up close.
My name is Harriet Devine.
Hi.
And I'm a member of a group called Grannies Against Graffiti that has worked with MLK, a mural company in Philadelphia, in developing murals in cities. What Carlos is trying to explain is that he is trying to create a piece of art. It is not signage. And what we don't understand is why murals have been put into an ordinance having to do with commercial signs, and why it wasn't included in your ordinance on art in public places.
I promise you, we're going to work on that. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, any further questions before we call the roll? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Williams?
No.
Vice Mayor Waldman,
Yes.
Councilman Burgess,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos,
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Mayor Bateman.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tab 18, we're skipping 16 and
Thank
17.
you.
Tab 18. Thank you, sir.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of Homestead waiving prohibition on acceptance of travel expenses in the form of meals as provided by city vendors in conjunction with the South Florida League of Cities Conference, the Florida Municipal Electric Association Conference, the American Public Power Association Conference, the National Association of Latino Elected Officials, and the Governor's Conference on Tourism as authorized by Section 2-11.1W of the Miami-Dade County Code, providing for an effective date.
Motion. Thank you. Second?
Second it.
Thank you. Staff report.
This is a routine resolution that you pass, which enables you to participate in these various conferences. Some of the exhibitors do have served food and drink, and allows you to participate and see the exhibits and deal with these vendors in the various areas that they go in. And it's required by the county code in order to accept these the meals.
Questions from council? Barbara, does my travel fall into this? Uh-oh. You better check with utilities. They've invited me to be one of the speakers at the APPA conference, and someone's picking up my tab.
Okay, well, we'll check it with her after
Thank
the
you.
meeting. Happy to.
Okay. Any further questions from council? We'll open to public hearing. Anyone in the public would like to comment on this? For or against? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Final comments from council. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Councilman Burgess,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lobos,
Yes.
Councilman Maldonado,
Yes.
Councilman Shelley,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Warman,
Yes.
Mayor Bateman.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, City Attorney's report.
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Report from Mayor and Council, Councilwoman Lobos. Tell us about that sign order.
Well, first, I want to cover the information regarding the CRA, the Temporary CRA Grant Committee,
Okay.
that we formed, and I know that it's CRA business, but it's for public information. The committee was formed by the CRA board. We met, and with the help of Mr. Richard Vega and our city manager, George Gretzes, we put together an application as well as a cover sheet by which each committee member is able to take each application, review it, and give their recommendations back. As a matter of fact, all the applications and the cover sheets are due back to Richard Vega tomorrow from the committee members. There has been extensive communication with each committee member, as well as emails that went out to every applicant, and I believe that Mayor and Council were copied on it, so that you are kept informed as to where we are in the process. It hasn't been a smooth process, but we finally got to the step that we wanted to get. There will be a meeting this Thursday at 5:30 in the conference, the manager's conference room. And I know that the last meeting, Vice Mayor Waldman attended, and therefore it is open to the entire mayor and council. If you want to attend, you're more than welcome to. At that time, the committee members will review the results of their recommendations, and the committee will then decide what amount, if any, they want to award to any of the applicants that have applied to the CRA nonprofit part of it. If there's any questions or concerns, please direct them to the city manager or to Mr. Richard Vega. And I'd like to thank both of them extensively. I know that there's a lot of work that we put into this for the past month. Not only did we have to work with some timelines on waiting on the committee appointments, but we also then had to work through some legal matters and procedural matters. But we finally at the last step. So, Mayor, this Thursday afternoon, we will know what the recommendation from this committee is, and we are hoping that within the first or second week in May, we will bring those recommendations to council to vote on a final approval of the funds to these applicants.
Question.
And I talked about, yes?
A good question. Do you have a lot of the business owners in the community attending the meetings?
A couple. So far, we haven't been able to, because the committee wasn't formally formed until the CRA board, when was that, 2 weeks ago? We really weren't able to cover any official business. And so I know that we met at the first meeting, and we had some applicants that had stated that they were concerned that they were not being copied on any of these emails. I think we have one business person that, and the only question that we had at that time was the appropriateness of talking about the CRA audit, the county audit, and that was about it. But so far, I think since we've, with Richard's help, we've been getting a lot of satisfactory comments in regards to keeping everybody informed and how fast the process has moved along.
Thank you.
And the reason why I brought that up first, Mayor, is because I know that you were commenting that I've taken a while to do the code revision meeting, committee, whatever you want to call it, but it's been quite busy with the CRA committee that we've been working with that. So, but I did meet on a Friday afternoon. I believe it was 4:30, 3:30 that we met with staff, with Mr. Corradino, with code enforcement, and we had a very productive 2-hour meeting, Mayor. We were very thorough, very detailed in the information that we wanted to present to council. They felt like the thoroughness that was done at that meeting was needed because we needed to come up with a format to present the information to mayor and council. It's just too much detail, too much information, and we just needed to figure out a way to present it to this mayor and council. So we did that. I believe that you're working with the city manager now on finalizing the format based on the conversation that we had that afternoon. And very soon we will set a workshop, Mayor, so that we can go over that information, and then it's up to council to decide what places a priority in regards to signage and code within the city of Homestead.
May I say something?
Sure.
Mr. Manager, I truly believe we need to find some dollars and get with the business department of the city of Homestead and get a message out to these businesses. The last thing we don't want to have these workshops and not have the people who we've been hearing over and over again. I know that I've been hearing. So, I mean, I'd give you a list of 10 or 15 of them off the top of my head that I really believe that we need to reach out in all walks of business here in Homestead and get them to the table. You know, send them a message in their power bills, send them a message and robocalling, whatever we can afford to do. Let's get a message to them, all right?
Even if we get a person to hand out flyers to each business in Homestead for a day.
It's against the ordinance.
Those Statue of Liberty guys.
It's not against the ordinance.
There you go. We can have a variance for that then.
Anyway, thank you. I just want to make that point because I really believe that the more that come, the merrier. If you end up in this room having your workshops, I'll be thrilled because they'll vent.
Mayor, well, if we advertise it with enough time, I believe that we'll get a lot of business interest and business participation. And like you stated earlier, I don't think that there's going to be a consensus on this dais 100% as to which direction we go because we have different perspectives. Some of us want a cleaner, more aesthetic, pleasing-looking city, and some of us want to be business-friendly. So, but at that time, it'll be up to the majority of this council to decide which direction we want to go.
But I think there's a compromise in there. Like this sign tonight. There's a compromise. You dress it up.
It's going to make for a long workshop.
It might be still a pig, but you can dress it up.
It's going to make for a long workshop if we're going to be talking about filling in spaces, but we'll see. But the workshop, hopefully within the first 2 weeks in May, and we'll announce it with enough time so that everybody can participate.
Thank you, Ms. LaBus. Mr. Burgess.
Thank you, sir. As we had one item that was scratched tonight, the racetrack, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about that, and as a liaison from the city to the track, I would like to ask permission of the council and the mayor, if I could work with our attorney and our city manager. I think as we move forward, now is the time we're positioned to try to get rid of the property tax that we have. And one problem that I have is, and I saw it at days when I was up there last time, was people don't understand. There's only five properties in the state of Florida that pay this tax. So when you go to a lawmaker, whether it's a senator or a House representative, most of them are unaware of it. So I would like to reach out to the racetrack with their resources, like I spoke the one night, and with our resources from our attorneys and our manager, and see if we can start laying the groundwork for maybe not this session, because this session's over, but for the next session of the Senate and the House to maybe take it up, where we can do away with with this, what I deem an unfair tax. And if I could, I'd like to get the permission of the council to try to work with our city attorney and our manager to see what kind of leeway, and not leeway, but groundwork we can lay and how far down the road we could get, because it's been on upon us since the track has been there, and I think we're unfairly taxed, and I think it's time that we try to step up and do
I
something about
appreciate
it.
you stepping up and saying that, so you got my vote. How does the rest of the council feel? Okay.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Okay, you
And
got
just
it, John.
been attending the League of Cities. We're moving forward on some initiatives there. And then today I was with Representative Ileana Ross-Lathan, as when I was principal for a day several months back. Air Base Academy had asked me to see if they could make their journey to Washington that the Safety Patrol is taking next week a memorable one, and she was gracious enough, one, to come down today and speak to them for approximately 3 hours, but she had also been able to grant them a visit to the White House, which is not an easy task nowadays. So the kids were very excited, as was I, for them to get to go there, because I've never even been there. So they're going to, the next week, they're getting to go there, and looking forward to it. So with that, I will say thank you.
Good job. Thank you, sir. Mr. Maldonado.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I got a question, a follow-up question with the city manager. Last council meeting, we had education committee member kind of present what we're doing with our program that we're trying to get going on the city channel in reference to the game show. Do you have any follow-ups or any news on that and where we're at?
Right, we had sent over, I guess Marlene had looked at them, a set of rules and regulations from some other cities that how they handle these things, and so we are moving forward with it.
Okay, thank you. So as soon as we have something, please let us know.
I mean, the nutshell version is basically, it looks like we'll be able to do something. We just have to kind of
tweak it
a little bit, but I think we'll be fine.
That's good news. Excellent. Another thing, city manager. I have a nursery that is looking to donate 2,000 one-gallon Pentas. I'm not sure if we could use those anywhere in the city, but they reached out to me and they asked if we could take them. So with that, I'd like for you to follow up with me in reference to that to see if we could use that throughout the city somewhere.
Sure.
I'm sorry, what were they?
Pentas. 1-gallon Pentas.
Oh, okay.
2,000. So. I'm
a plant lover. I didn't know that one.
And just a reminder, due May 2nd, through Weiss Sirota Hoffman's organization, due May 2nd is the essay for a $1,000 scholarship fund or grant, not a grant fund. The essay is entitled, "Why My City is Special." So again, just a reminder, that essay is due May 2nd. According to Richard, I have a lot of essays to read. So with that, we just want to make sure we give everyone an opportunity to write why the city is important. So just a reminder, May 2nd. Also, just had a pretty busy month. Attended the NALEO conference with Councilwoman Lobos and building healthy communities. We went out to Atlanta, Georgia, met with NALEO, and we were talking with representatives working on initiatives to bring healthy communities here in Homestead. A lot of great ideas, a lot of ways that we could establish that. I kind of want to start building on a platform of healthcare within the community, something that I feel in my heart that I want to bring to the city. So with that, we went there. I also was, the mayor could not attend, so I went in instead, and we went to the signing of the covenant with Miami-Dade Public School Boards, with Alberto Cavallo, and just a recommitment with the cities and with the compact that was established to make sure that we work with with the school board. The school board, you know, I saw them when they were up in Tallahassee, and unfortunately came down with their heads, you know, bowed down. It was pretty tough for them. They're losing a lot more money, and they're looking to us for as much support as possible. So with our education committee, and the reason why I brought that up is the importance that we get involved. So our committee is involved heavily with the school board here in Homestead. We want to make sure that we're making an impact. So we went out there, did the signature. Again, Mayor, on behalf of Carvalho, he thanks you for that and expects your support, or would like your support. So.
And I thank you.
And, okay, my last one. In the next 2 months, I would like to finally form the Mayor's Youth Council. I was approached about a month ago, reference if I would take on this task for the Mayor's Youth Council, and I did take it. So I want to make an announcement today that we'll be accepting applications for the Mayor's Youth Council. If you know anyone that would like to be involved with this organization, this council, to please send your information in with Patty, and so we could get this going within the next month. Again, the Mayor's Youth Council will be formed in the next 2 months, and we will be taking applications. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado. Mr. Shelley.
Nothing tonight.
All right. Mr. Williams.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to make the announcement that we're having our first town hall meeting for the Southwest area, Area 4, May 5th at 6:30 at the FICA Williams Community Center. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Wallman.
First of all, I wanted to say thank you to Dennis Maytan, our Parks and Recs Director, for a great Easter egg fun day Saturday. Councilman Burgess was there with me, and it was beautiful. It made a lot of kids happy, and your staff just did a wonderful job. So I thank you, Dennis, very much. And I'd like to also announce that on Thursday, April 28th at 6 p.m., we'll have our Green Home Energy Workshop through Barbara's office, and we're going to talk about energy efficient lights, AC filters. We'll have gift certificates. You'll learn how to reduce your energy bill by 20% or more and qualify for a free home energy survey. So for more information, call 305-224-4719, and there's one prize per household. So I can't wait for that. I know it's going to be very, very informative. I also want to mention Relay for Life, which I just passed around the dunk tank sign up, and the only person that signed up was Councilman Burgess at 4 o'clock. Now, or 4:30, sorry. Now, shame, shame, shame on you. Now, I will have to say, he will be dressed up as Elvis. Elvis will really be in the house. I've got him a costume. He's ready to go. Our city booth is Viva Las Vegas. We're going to have the cheap buffet, which is a hot dog, a Coke, and a bag of chips. And Richard Vega's going to be taking pictures of Elvis, and people are going to be paying to have their picture taken with the real Elvis. Although he could take off the Elvis costume and get in the dunk tank at maybe around midnight.
Afterwards. Well, let me tell you, next time I'll make sure I show up to the meeting. I said I was going to go to the meeting. I did not go to the meeting, and look what happened. And so I agreed. Whatever I told them, whatever you guys put me up to, count on me. And they came back with this response.
He answered the phone, yes, ma'am.
So with that, I'll be more than happy to help out.
So, Chief, I'm going to give this to you. Officer Hernandez in the back. Everybody, I mean, we've got to get some people. Our directors, we've got to get people in the dunk tank. One of the relays made over $2,000 just in the dunk tank. You know, people really want to dunk you. They really do. The directors and supervisors.
I think we should put utilities in there.
Well, I'm going to give Barbara a pass because we girls don't want to do that. But we'll stand there and take the money. Christy will put you in there. Christy would like it. But we need the dunk tank. We need for you guys to sign up. Look at them all. They're not making eye contact with me at all. So I'm going to...
Has to. I like that. You sound like somebody else I know, my wife.
So anyway, I'm going to leave this with the manager's office. Chief, you get your officers to sign. It's either that or wear grass skirts and run the track all night with a tip jar. So, with a dunk tank. Okay. So you have your choice.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway, that's this Friday night. Please come out. It really gets kicked off around 4 o'clock. Bring some money so we can dunk Mr. Burgess. And we'll have our luminaries. We'll have our survivor walk around 6:37. It's absolutely wonderful. I'll be giving the survivor speech. And I'll probably, Chrissy, what time does that usually happen? Around 8 o'clock, 8:30? I know. But last year, wasn't it around 8 o'clock or something? Yeah, sundown. So I'll be doing the survivor speech, and it's really a beautiful thing to come and see. I also wanted to say with our Cinco de Mayo, I know we didn't really talk about it as much as I would like to, but you talk about meetings. We're having meetings constantly. I wanted to thank our new assistant city manager, David. He's wonderful. He just got, he just...
Home with the flu.
Is he home with the flu? But he better get better, because I need him. But I wanted to really say thank you. It's going to be a beautiful event. And we're also having constant meetings right now with Dennis and his team with the racetrack for Race to the 4th of July. We had about 11,000 people last year. We're anticipating up to 15,000 people this year at the Speedway. And I want to thank everybody for your prayers for my mom. She was in critical care for about 6 or 7 days in intensive care, and I just brought her home, and she's really doing better. She really is. So I want to thank you very much, and I want to say happy birthday to the mayor tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
And I want to say a belated happy birthday to Councilman Williams. And we've got some cake in the manager's conference room if anybody would like to join us afterwards. They may be wearing the cake if they don't sign up for the dunk tank, but I'd like to invite you to come back and sing happy
Vice
birthday.
Mayor,
Sir?
I was almost going to sign that, and then I remembered I would be out of town. So if I can put somebody in my place, that would be great.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Who are you going to put? Anyway, thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you, and thank you for remembering my birthday. Usually I try to disappear on my birthday for at least a day, I try to forget what year it is, what date it is. But tomorrow I'm going to be speaking along with Mayor Otis Wallace at Capri Restaurant to all the nonprofits throughout South Dade County. So I'm going to be there at 12 o'clock working hard for the city still. A few things I did this month, as I attended Mayor's Meeting Business in Tallahassee. Out of 180 plus mayors, 42 mayors attended. We actually had a 45-minute roundtable discussion with the new governor, and I can tell you the new governor does not like regulations. And in fact, he used this like this. There's a stack of regulations like this on my desk, left from Charlie Chris. I haven't even opened the packet, and I probably won't till well after session. And we'll get rid of probably 30% of the regulations that exist now. His theory is that the state of Florida is just too difficult to work in due to the regulations that are in place now. The expense and the time, he is like adamantly against the regs. So you're going to see a big change in the regs, and that was the biggest thing that caught my ear, because I said, wow, I found it as a small businessman very difficult to do business with the state, county, and even cities because of the regulations that are in place to do the business. 2 steps forward, one step backwards. He seemed to be very open to contacting his office. He said, I want each one of you to know that you have a direct line to my office. He said, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. If any state regulation is holding up a new business or a business from expanding and hiring employees, people, do not hesitate to call me if it's a state regulation. So I was very happy to hear that as well. There were 6 of us that actually were able to speak one-on-one with him and introduce our business leaders for the day. And I had FP&L who actually got to say a few words to the governor on power issues, which was nice, because as we all know, if 5 and 6 come online, we're talking 4,000 people for 5 years and a remaining 400 when the process is done. So that 4,000 people takes care of our shortfall of foreclosures right now at about 4,400. The last number I heard, 700 actually empty. So like nukes or not, I think today's nukes are far safer than yesterday's nukes. So with that said, he got some really good FaceTime in with the governor, and they swapped some cards, and I think it was very successful for him, as well as very successful for Dade Medical College. So I enjoyed the trip up there. It was a great experience, And I truly believe that that the governor is a very proactive governor. I did not vote for him. I don't mind telling you flat out I didn't, but he seems to be very proactive. While I was there, there was a rally going on. I can't tell you what the rally was about, but I know that he went straight back to his office after hearing these young college kids in this rally, and apparently it made him happy and solved the problem that was at hand right there. While I was up there, I went to the Military Affairs Department, spoke with 4 different individuals who set a meeting up for me the following day, bringing in a couple other gentlemen into the meeting, one a 2-star general and one Navy commander. Before I got to that meeting at 10 o'clock, the lieutenant governor summons me to her office and said that she had rescheduled that meeting if I would be kind enough to show up at 10 o'clock. She rescheduled that meeting to 2 o'clock. So I have to tell you, again, his team is very proactive. Just from what she had heard in my meeting day 1, I didn't call her. I don't know her. She actually reached out to the city of Homestead, had them find me, and had me moved from Military Affairs to her office. Now, I won't tell you what she said in there, but it was very good and very positive about the air base issue. Very, very positive. Because we're on the same playing field. We all want what's fair for everyone. We want what's fair for this community, fair for the air base, fair for the military, fair for the farmers, and I think we're going to find that fairness. So there was some really good things that happened. It just came along without having to try too hard on them. So with that said, I thank each and every one of you for what you do for the city of Homestead. The city of Homestead is looking better every day. I know when those additional men come on board, we're going to even look better. So citizens, for you that are out there now, please don't hesitate to continue to come forward and ask us. Give us your opinion. Tell us what's bothering you. We work for you. With that said, thank you very much. Have a great evening. All in favor? Adjourn? Okay, thank you.
Motion made, second. Good night.
Happy birthday. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for your birthday. I usually do. Yeah, I'm not now.
Bye, sweetie.
Hey, Apple, how you doing? What's Jimmy doing? Growing? Is he walking? Almost get up. We can't waste no time now. That's too funny, man. This one. Oh. You want this? Leave it on my desk.
We'll leave the water here. Do you have the books? Just Wendy's.
You don't want to get close to me.